I look like I'm in a helicopter. I look like I'm in a damn helicopter. I'm not. I'm in a van. What's good? What's good? I don't have to talk so loud since I have this. What's good? So I made it to see another year, and thank you to everybody who sent me birthday wishes, well wishes, and all the sweet words all across my social media platforms. I just wanted to come and chit chat with y'all because I know. To those subscribed to my channel, baby, look here. Your girl is still working on getting back into the flow. Okay. Let's take a sip to that. Let's take a sip to, just getting back on it. And also, while we do that, can I flip this around? Yep, right here. Let me make sure my screen is clear. I think it is though. But, oh, what happened? But while we do that, let me just give a give a quick shout out to my babies right there. Wait a minute. Okay. Look. So for the hey Samaj, what's good? Welcome, welcome. So I just recently got that one. I got that one like the day before I got that one. And you know what I'm really happy about? I'm happy about the fact that look, y'all, disregard I gotta do laundry. Okay, so disregard that. But y'all know I live in a thank you. So they are growing. I'm not sure. Um, Spider looks good. Spider looks good, but she hasn't sent out any new babies, so I'm not sure. But y'all, I'm really trying to get back in the hang of making like regular YouTube videos. If you don't know, I started a podcast, which I love. I love doing the podcast. For me, it's because I'm able to just share with y'all. You know, I don't have any listeners yet. I don't care about that. Y'all know I don't care nothing about that. I don't share my life on social media for clout. If you know, you know. I just don't. And but I really want to get back in the hang of my YouTube videos, like my van life. And also, if you know, since I've come out of incarceration, I started a new company, which I also am putting all of my focus on. So it's just like I got real life shit to do. And it's kind of the same as before I went in. Like I was really focused on building my real business income outside of being a YouTube employee, outside of which I know can be a great sounding board, but you know, I don't know. I just have difficulties. Mainly because there's so much other shit I have going on. Like let me tell y'all, like since getting out of Shalonda, goddamn it, don't cry. But it's very emotional for me because I keep going. I don't give up. But let me just tell y'all some of the real shit, which I do have videos about, but my tabs are hella expired. They expired shortly before I went into federal custody. Then I just found out yesterday because I got to get my California state license. So I just found out yesterday I got to pay Minnesota funky ass $680 to get my license reinstated from Minnesota from 10 years ago. 680 fucking dollars. I got restitution I gotta pay. Like, I got shit on me. And it's just like, and now at 51, I got a goddamn felony over saying some shit online. And it's just. So with all that, it's really difficult to I find it difficult. And I did make a video about this too, because it's probably just me. I find it difficult to make YouTube videos for my van lifestyle channel because I'm not doing shit. I don't know what you guys would be interested in. Every day all I do is figure out and promote my business. That's it. Work on my next podcast episode. You know what I mean? Every day. Every day, every day, every day. I don't do shit. I come and park at the library because again, my tags are expired, so I can't be out there driving around. I pray every day before I leave. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I don't have the money to just work on the things that I want to do to get it to upgrade my van, which is the very first thing I'm going to do as soon as I'm able because I just need a new look in here. And maybe that's why I really love the podcast because I'm able to share more about my life and then pull out some lessons, some things that are of value. You know what I mean? It is just a tag. Thank you so much. You're gonna move this path and Jesus. Amen. Amen. I am resilient. I am resilient. And man, I'm telling you, that's crazy. You know, that's what I said too. That's one of the things I said in my video, Life Lately. It's titled Life Lately. And I talked about in there the struggle that I'm having with making YouTube videos. And I was like, maybe I should just start where I'm at with how it is rebuilding my life after incarceration and completely on my own. And when I say completely on my own, I don't think people really know what it's like to really just be out here without a goddamn safety net. My whole life has been walking a tightrope with nothing but God, baby. Nothing but God to keep me from hitting the ground, splat, and being done. Whereas, first of all, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people because I'm very personable. I'm dope as fuck. I'm cool as hell. And people are just drawn to me. But I know, not just have met, but know a lot of people. And I don't know anybody who has gone through life just on their own. I don't know anybody who doesn't have any type of support system besides me. I don't know anybody like that. And a lot of times I feel like, what I may think is valuable or what somebody can get value from, sometimes I feel like maybe it's just not relatable because I know some people may try to, not want to lean into their support system. And I always discourage that. If you have any type of fucking support system, lean into that, man, because to be out here without one, you wouldn't want that. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And I've always said, you know, because it's the fact. And I recognize it as a fact and I recognize it as a little girl. God showed me who I was as a little girl. And from the moment my grandmother died, it's just like everything from 9 years old, everything. any kind of safety, any kind of stability, any kind of security, any type of shielding from anything, all of that was stripped away from me. And it let me know that all you got is you. All you got is you, and you have to build yourself up. And I started building myself up at 12. But because I'm such a rebel and a nonconformist, yes, I chose the hard way. The hard way being I decided as a young, early teenager, I'm not going to work for any company. I'll be damned if I give a company 20 years of my life because as a Gen Xer, like in the middle frame of the Gen X generation, I saw a lot of baby boomers um, being on jobs like 30 something years and then they get sick, and yes, they were making good money, especially for back then. Let's say in the late 80s, early 90s, they're making 75, 85, $90,000 a year, which may not sound like nothing to y'all now, but back then, that's good money. Like they had a nice house, two nice cars. Everything was very well. They were well off. Fucked around, got sick, used up their short-term disability, have been on a company 30 years and the company just like, I've seen boomers be on jobs again 30 some years in their trade and then the company just decide, "Oh, we're going to go in a different direction. We're going to let you go." And I saw how it affected them. And even before that, that's what I just didn't buy the bullshit. Go to school, get a good job. I'm like that. It's not working for you. And now that we're in an economy where it's like, that shit ain't working for nobody. Baby boomers are old as hell. They living forever, but they still got to work. If they don't like, they still we see them. We see them at Walmart. We see them. In fact, we see them out here working, not because they want to, but because they have to. So yes, I chose the hard route of saying to myself at 14, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure out how to become wealthy just off being me. I'm going to create business of my own. I'm going to figure out how to be an actual business owner, entrepreneur, and I'm going to figure that shit out. There are way too many examples of others way before me who they didn't figure it out in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. They had failed after creating something multiple times. You know what I mean? Because this shit ain't easy. But I'd rather have my path and my journey. But when it comes to my van life, I just, I'm in the same spot all the goddamn time. I'm in the same spot all the goddamn time. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just holding myself back. I feel stuck. That's the thing. That's the thing. Crochet is expensive. And I have it all going. But I love to crochet. If you've ever seen me crochet, I absolutely love to crochet. And so I did start something to where I want to make and sell crochet throw blankets. Um, but let's just keep them 1,000 like I always do. I can't even afford to buy yarn right now to even start making the crochet blankets, to even have even one in stock to post up on my Van Lifestyle Crochet website for anybody to go and possibly buy. This is just the reality of it. And this is my reality of starting over, especially after being in federal custody for 7 months and 8 days and then coming out with no support system, with no nothing lined up, just getting it out the mud, getting it clean out the mud. Folks are crazy. So this is just what it is. This is what it is. And I'm not one to try and uh portray something that I'm not. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it to keep up some facade. That's never been me. Cuz keep in mind, I did grow up in a generation in a time before social media, before cell phones. I grew up in a time where we were really outside. So, I've fallen on my face in front of people in real time outside. You know what I mean? I've picked myself up in real time in front of people. You know what I mean? So I come from a generation where even in hip hop, rap music, you couldn't bite somebody else's style. You had to sound original. You know what I mean? Uh uh EPMD couldn't sound like Public Enemy. You would get called out for biting for sounding like somebody else's style. We just wasn't with that. We wasn't with that. And even in our real life on the streets, it's just we wasn't with I definitely wasn't about the fake shit. I wasn't with that fake shit. And even back then, if somebody pretended to be all this and that, and you fucked around and went to their house and they had roaches and their house was just filthy, nasty, their mama didn't clean, the house was a mess, but outside they look like they all, oh, you got shamed from there on out. From there on out, nobody's gonna believe you. Nobody, and then we're gonna let everybody know this motherfucker living in a nasty ass house. They look clean out here, but don't go to their house. Don't eat or drink shit out of their house. That's the generation I'm from. So for me, it just ain't in me, Shalonda Elise, to fake the phone. It's just not in me. So being vulnerable is my superpower. And I don't mind sharing with y'all that I am having a difficult time figuring out how to get my YouTube van lifestyle back up and flowing. But I absolutely love doing the podcast. I love, love, love doing the podcast. It's more in depth to me. Not more. It's not more anything. It's just, I feel like I can create without needing a visual to go with it. That's what it is. And with the YouTube videos, you need some sort of visual. And I've been saying this even before I had to go self surrender. And maybe it's just I don't trust it. Maybe I don't trust what some of you guys, my subscribers, have been saying, but people have been saying before I self surrendered that they would want to see the mundane. But then I've posted some of those and they were crickets. And I know shit doesn't happen immediately, but it's like, I don't know. This is really mundane. I really don't do shit. And now my stove is broken, so I can't even share none of my cooking. So it's just I'm figuring it out. I'm just sharing with y'all the back and forth struggle that I'm having with putting out new actual videos. Um, but you can still follow along with my podcast. I have the podcast playlist here and it's on Spotify. So I love the podcast. I'm working on episode 5 right now, but you know, it is what it is. And I also thought about leaning into to as far as the YouTube video. I did think about also going more in depth and about that whole experience being in federal custody. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure why I pulled away from that. Maybe I should. His little style is kind of dope. Uh, maybe I should. I don't know. I don't know. It's so specific, but it's also, I guess, kind of intriguing. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to ramble. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful to see another year. I'm thankful to all you guys who wish me a happy birth anniversary. And I'm looking forward to this year ahead, and I'm looking forward to accomplishing the things that I have on my goal list to accomplish over the next year and the next 5 years. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a downhill in my life. I feel like my whole life has been uphill, 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 steep ass hills. I'm looking forward to a successful downhill coast. That's what I'm looking forward to. And my goal is to hit that coast within the next 5 years. And my 10-year goal, which is now 9 years, is to be completely financially established by the time I'm 60. Because one thing I don't want to be is a old ass senior citizen working for minimum wage or below minimum wage. I don't even see that for myself. So I'm grateful to have the energy that I have and the stamina that I have and the resilience and the tenacity that I have because your girl don't give up. I just don't give up. I don't believe in it. There's nothing about me that will ever give up. So that's just not gonna happen. That's just I don't call defeat. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Even as a kid, I'm the youngest and the only girl, and one of my brothers especially, used to just kick my ass. He used to beat the hell out of me, and his thing was, even though I wasn't a punk coming from St. Louis, and just once I moved with them, oh my God, they were just fucking treacherous. And I'm not gonna say uncle. I'm not gonna say uncle. I would be crying in pain, squirming, trying to get out of it, but I'm not about to say uncle. Period. You will get tired before I will. So you could knuckle and pound on my chest to the motherfucker cave in. I'm not about to say uncle. It's not gonna happen. And I didn't. I didn't. I didn't. I had goddamn asthma attacks and all kind of shit, but I was not about to call defeat. Period. So I can handle it. I can handle it. And when I get back up, don't turn your fucking back because as soon as you do, I'm jumping on that motherfucker and I'm about to strangle you. And that's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? So your girl don't give up. I don't give in. So yeah, maybe I will put in an effort to do more vlog style videos. Just sharing my experience. Like I said, I have yarn. I have yarn, but just like yarn from over the years, it's not I would just be crocheting. You know what I'm saying? I would just be crocheting, n- uh, not even anything. So, but I do have yarn to just crochet. And maybe what I could do, here's an idea. Maybe I can just be crocheting, doing swatches and just working on stitches as I share my experience being incarcerated. I'm telling you, that was a hell of an experience. I mean, I got some funny ass stories. That was a hell of an experience. And for someone who has never been in jail, I've never been in jail in my life. So that was an experience, you know. And what I'm thankful for also through that is that I was going in as a disciplined person because, I don't know if you guys know, But my son is incarcerated right now. And my son, although he was a good boy and he was not a street boy, he wanted to be. He wanted to be a bad boy. He wanted to be a tough boy, a street boy, all that shit. But he wasn't. He just wasn't. But he made horrible decisions and ended up where he's at. And so for him, even when I try to tell him, you got to, stay to yourself. And this was before I had ever been in that situation. You got to say to yourself, you need to read. You need to, while you're in there and you got all this time, you're still going to be a young man when you get out, but you need to utilize that time. Now that I've been there, I, s- I feel that even 10 times even more. Don't waste all that goddamn time wanting to hang out with these other motherfuckers who probably been in and out of there several different times, who are probably much older than you. Like, why the fuck are you trying to impress these people? Why are you trying to? And this is something I said in my situation. I'm seeing women customize their clothing. I'm like, who are you trying to look good for? Why are you? Why are you trying to look good in here? Why are you trying to? I'm talking about getting their clothes altered. They wearing motherfucking skinny pants. It didn't make sense to me. Okay, it didn't make sense to me. Bitches talking about I'm gay for the stay. Bald heads get feds. Chicks with I seen more chicks with tattoos on their faces than I have in my entire life. Okay, they got their whole man tatted on their face. But then you fucking with two, three, four different raggedy looking bitches in here. Baby, bye. Baby, bye. I mean, the shit is nuts. Nobody want to do anything. And so, like I said, it was an experience. It was quite the experience. So, I don't know. It's not one that I ever I mean, I didn't intend on getting in that one. And the judge was a total asshole with sentencing me to 8 months to say, well, I can't just not give her anything. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Over this petty shit, you got me in here with real criminals, real junkies. I'm talking about it was a chick in there on her third. I met her while she was on her fourth time in there. But on her third time in there, in federal custody now, mind you, she OD'd on fentanyl in federal custody. The unit manager is the one that found her. Man, I'm telling y'all, the feds are the biggest fucking criminals in the United States. The biggest criminals. It's so many drugs in prison, jail, federal detention center, whatever the fuck it is. It's so many drugs in there, in and out, being sold. Not to mention, not to mention, all them goddamn women cheesing up in the officers' faces. I said, look, bitch, I don't talk to the police on the outside. You stay up in these goddamn cops' faces more than anybody. And then y'all want to talk about snitching. You already been caught. That's why you in federal custody right now. They talking through the sink. They talk through the toilet. They talk through the vent to the men also in federal custody. First time I heard somebody talk about fishing, I said, I don't fish, but I like to, eat fresh fish. They was like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. The fuck are you talking about? What is fishing? Fishing through the toilet, I'm telling y'all. Fishing through the toilet. These bitches fish food, letters, contraband through the toilet. Bitch, I am not eating no buki burrito. Do you hear me? I don't care how you wrap it. What's up, Tyler? That's why I said, wait, what? Yes. Yes. They fish letters, all kind of shit, beanies, anything through the toilet. And I saw a professional do it. She was in there on some real shit. She was in there, young Mexican woman, in her, let's see, my daughter is 33. 33. She's my daughter's age. I don't know, got like 5 kids or whatever. We ended up being in the same cell together. I saw, and I saw her fish a letter. She had just fished a letter. So they ripped the edge of the bed sheet and they tied different knots. And I'm looking, I'm sitting on my top bunk. Bitch, I'm looking. I want to see this shit. I've been hearing about this shit for 3 months. Now I finally get to see it. I'm on the top bunk. I'm looking. I'm watching every fucking thing. So she tied however many knots. So this was at MDCLA. The women's unit was on 9 North. So the men, because MDCLA is a men's prison, but a women's detention center, meaning it's just a pass through spot for women. Women can't be designated to MDCLA, whereas men can. So it's an actual prison for them. So anyway, the men are on 6 North, 7 North. So however many floors down, she said, by the knots. And at MDC, you can flush. You can hold it and flush. So she rip up the sheet. She make her line. They call it a line, like a fishing line, right? So she flush. She put it in the toilet, flush. It swoop it down, flush, swoop it down, and then they put some kind of hook. Like I don't know the full ins and outs, but they put some kind of hook or some kind of net or I don't know. So then once it gets to the floor, you know, they holler, oh, they holler through the vent or the toilet, however they communicate, because they also communicate through the fucking toilet. I saw that being done too. So they'll tell them to open up. So open up mean open the toilet up. So they have to empty the water out of the toilet for it to be open, I guess. And so then she fishing the thing through, and on the floor it's coming on, they receive it, I don't know, and then attach whatever else to it. So in her case, she had just fished a little letter. So she bring it back up. The shit is wild. It was the wildest shit I ever seen in my life. But the thing about it is, everybody, the warden, the assistant warden, everybody know about it. They all know, and they let the shit happen. They may give them some, consequences or reprimand them after or whatever. But they know the shit go down when they hollering through the vents, talking through the toilet. One chick had asked me if she can talk through my toilet because and then they know these buildings. Okay, they know when the men are in the shoe, what cell is under. They know these goddamn buildings like they built them, like they got the blueprint. You hear me? So anyway, she come ask me if she could talk through my toilet. So I said, yeah. Because again, I first heard about that where I self surrendered in Santa Ana. So now I'm at MDCLA. I tell her, yeah. So then I go into my cell and I was doing something, I don't know. So I'm watching her. So she had a sock and she's soaking up the water out the fucking toilet. Then she had a newspaper that she wrapped up so she could hear. And she was dead ass talking through the toilet. Talking through the toilet to her co-defendant. Hey, good afternoon. Hey, Cheryl. Hello. I'm doing good. I'm excellent. I'm excellent. Yeah, that's wild, Tyler. So, they do all kind of shit. They talk to through the vents. You could hear the men, 9 North. You just hear a dude from 9 North, 9 North. And you could hear it in different vents. You know what I'm saying? So then, like, when they would do that, they're not calling anybody specific. So then you would hear another chick in another vent in another cell would respond. This shit was wild, wild. Then when I went to Washington to SeaTac, where I was designated, there. Now, right before I went to SeaTac, I had heard people talking about at some facilities, they have it where you can only flush the toilet once every 5 minutes. So that means courtesy flushing is out the door. There is no courtesy flushing. Okay. Now you in a small ass cell with another chick and she blow the toilet out or you blow the toilet out and you can only flush once every 5 minutes. If you flush it twice within 5 minutes, it lock up for 30 minutes, meaning you can't flush the toilet again. So I get to SeaTac. That's exactly how it was. At MDCLA and at Santa Ana, you can just hold and flush. You can hold and flush. You don't even, have to hear nobody's bookie dropping in the water. You just hold it right before and then just keep holding it and let it up a little bit and keep holding and just flush everything down. At SeaTac in Washington, no, baby. So apparently they said they do that to prevent fishing. They still fish out there in SeaTac. It just may take them 30 minutes to fish some shit that at MDCLA they can do in 2 or 3 minutes, because you can only flush once every 5 minutes, baby. But there's no talking through the vent like at MDCLA. They talk through the sink. So all the damn sinks are leaking and broken because they take the pipe off and they talk through the sink pipe, baby. I say, look, these bitches gonna find a way to talk to these motherfucking criminal ass men. These criminal ass bitches gonna find a way to talk to these criminal ass men. I'm talking about bitches having pipe sex with men they never even seen before. Chicks getting jailhouse tattoos of men they've only talked to through the pipe or the vent. I'm not lying to y'all. This is shit that I've seen and witnessed and experienced. I said, y'all are nuts. Y'all are crazy as hell. Y'all are crazy as hell. I'm talking about, and these aren't little kids either. These are grown women who have umpteen felonies, who have been in and out of state prison, federal prison, and it's just like that's just their life. So I don't know. And they were all surprised because I was like, no, I don't make no phone calls. I'm not writing any letters to anybody. I'm not getting any visitors. I just want to do my little 8 months for this little petty shit and be out of here. That's it. What? You don't talk to you don't talk to you don't talk to nobody. You don't make no. How come you don't talk? Baby, everything I need is right here. I have everything I need right here. Me and within me. I don't need to talk to nobody. What I'm gonna talk to anybody? What you doing? Nothing. What you doing? Nothing. Still in custody. Like what? What the fuck am I gonna talk about? I don't have nothing to talk about. I don't have nothing to talk about at all. I'm not writing no letters. I don't want to receive no letters. I said, let me just do my little 8 months, which turned out to be 7 months and 8 days, and let me get the fuck up out of here. That's it. That's it. That's all. I'm talking about the level, and not only the tattoos on the face. I saw more BBCs. I'm talking BBL. I'm talking about horrible looking BBLs. They all look horrible. And not only are they walking around with obvious BBLs, but these motherfuckers talking about it's theirs. Girl, look, your thighs are the size of my arms, and your whole ass look like the top part of a capital letter P. Are you serious? Nobody's buying that shit. Nobody's buying that shit. And it's all the same shape. Baby, I saw more BBLs more face tats, more neck tats than I've ever seen in my life on women. Do you hear me? I'm talking about more than I've ever seen. That comment makes no sense. That comment makes no sense because um, it wasn't a juvenile place, but there was some 20-year-old women in there who I would consider kids. There was 21-year-old young girls in there. Those are kids. Those are kids. 23-year-old, 25-year-old, those are kids. My children that I gave birth to are 32 and 33. I'm talking about grown ass adults where your mind is fully developed just as far as biologically. So, although I had never been in jail before, no, I wouldn't expect because I don't hang around criminals. So, yeah, it was a shocker to me. Maybe it's not shocking to you, Jeremy. Maybe you've been incarcerated before. I don't know. But I didn't expect grown ass women in their late 30s, 40s, 50s. It was even a 76-year-old Filipino woman in there on her second felony. I said, bitch, all your friends are in here. I don't want to hear about your husband, bitch. Your husband couldn't keep you out of trouble. You're 76. Tell me, I'm your mother's age. Bitch, my mom is not in federal custody on her second felony. What are you talking about? You already did 6 years in Dublin as a senior citizen. Now you're back again? Now you're back again? So I don't know what you mean, what I expected. I didn't expect I didn't expect anything. But what I saw, what I experienced was wild. So people on the outside who'd never been there, like you, like you, comment warrior, can say all kind of shit. You can say all kind of shit. But until you've been there and witnessed it, and then as a woman who don't hang around criminals, I don't even date felons, that's not my world. Why would I expect to see a bunch of bitches with face tats? Why would I expect that? Like I said, when the motherfucker asked me about fishing, I'm thinking, fishing. No, I don't fish, but I like to eat fresh fish. I even said, I said my dad fish, and she straight up laughed at me. Bitch, I don't know nothing about this shit. You asked me about fishing. I only know one type of fishing. What the fuck? I only know one type of fishing. You know. So I never even known what the inside of jail looked like. So what do you mean? What would I expect? The fuck? Shut up. You know what I'm saying? You can say anything when you just talking. You can say absolutely anything when you're just talking. It's just like when we watch a movie, everything is obvious to us while we're sitting at home or in the movie theater watching this movie. Or you hear somebody sharing their life. Yeah, it may be obvious to you, but you've never been in half of these situations that those of us who share our life on the internet ever been in. So, the peanut gallery comment section, it's always going to be obvious and crystal clear and blatantly, you know, obvious to you. But to someone who's never been in jail, never heard jailhouse stories, because I don't want to hear that shit. The AARP black. Oh, what do you mean kids don't go to? Let me stop reading, because all that sounds stupid. All that sounds stupid. What do you mean kids don't go to prison? How come they don't? Jeremy, calm down, my boy. How come kids don't go to prison? Kids get tried as adults. My boy, what are you talking about? Kids get tried as adults for some of their heinous crimes. What are you talking about? You don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, they definitely had. But you know what's funny about that? Sure, they actually had AARP, and this was at SeaTech, and it was for you had to be 50 plus. I tried to sign up for that shit. I tried because like AARP, you get all kinds of benefits. But anyway, I wasn't there long enough, and I wasn't gonna be there long enough to be able to get it. So yeah, but I need to look into it. I need to look into some AARP. But it was it was a wild experience. It was each facility was just more shocking than the last one. Each facility of the three facilities that I was shuffled between, each one was more shocking than the last. But by far, the most money and the most activity was at MDCLA. MDCLA had the most money flowing through it and the most activity. I'm talking about gangster shit was going on. Gangster shit. So at MDCLA, and also the demographic shocked me as well. So I self surrendered at Santa Ana. And when I saw the amount of Asian women that was there, I was like, damn, like I said, I didn't have any expectations. But if I would have had to bet, like with a gun to my head, and had to say, what demographic do you think is going to be there? Asian would not have come out of my mouth. There were Chinese women there, Vietnamese women there, and Korean women. At Santa Ana, it was just Chinese and Vietnamese. And most of them were there for drugs. Some was there, or the fewest of them were there for like money laundering, but most of them were there for drug drug activity. So when I get to MDCLA, that was also the same thing. Uh, the most was Mexicans. It was the majority Mexican women. The least were white American and Black American women. That was the lowest demographic. So I get to MDCLA, and I'm talking about, it's one older Mexican woman. I call her Gangster Granny. Okay, I call her Gangster Granny because she was a fucking gangster. Do you hear me? But when I tell you there was some gangster shit going on at MDCLA, I'm talking about they were beating up. So the Mexican women were beating up other Mexican women, forcing them to come into their cell so that they can fish in their toilet or talk through their vent. Because, like I said, they know these buildings. So they know if in 904, whoever they want to talk to is in 604, I don't know, whatever the fuck, on the sixth floor or seventh floor, that's where they want to go, or if in this cell on the ninth floor, because the women was in 9 North, if a guy is in the shoe and the shoe is under there. So they were dead ass bullying and beating up, and then threatening that if they told, when they went to prison, they was going to have people in there fuck them up. They were threatening their family. I'm talking about real shit. And it took some time before it came out. And when it did come out, the one chick, she was like, I was scared for my family. Like, I believed, and these are all the Mexicans doing it to Mexican women. I said, God damn. So I said, you mean to tell me Gangster Granny knew this shit was going down? Then come to find out, Gangster Granny had taken her bunky's radio. Her bunkie was Colombian. She took her radio, sold it to somebody else, sold it to somebody else, and then uh that person sold it to somebody else, and then the Colombian girl, whose it was, she ended up buying it back, and back in the same cell with Gangsta Granny. And Gangsta Granny was like, no, 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 I bought that. That was mine. That was mine. Denied the whole thing. I was like, that shit is wild. And even she was one that they was threatening. So they ended up having to move some people from this side to that side. Two of the cells they shut down because they was just trying to, see what was going on. I said, this right here is crazy. One chick came in there, older Mexican chick. She came in there. She had a hustle. She would make like little animals or flowers out of bread, the the fucking gross ass chocolate styrofoam cakes they served in the morning, out of paper, anything. She would make little dice. How about they fucking bullied her and was taking some of her shit and taking some of her profits? I said, these are some gangsters up in here. Dead ass gangsters, you know? But I said, hey, I'm just here to do my little time and mind my goddamn business. You know, they doing it to their own people, so it's fucked up. What's SSDI? I don't know what SSDI is. So apparently I don't get one because I don't even know what the hell SSDI is. I don't get an SSDI check, whatever that is. So I'm just out here trying to get my company host mode events off the ground and into. Oh, yeah, no, I don't get that. I'm not disabled. I don't get that. I don't get that. SSDI. Why would I get that? Yeah, I'm not disabled. And I'm not about to pretend to be, least of all while I'm building a company and my probation officer even know that I'm working on building my company. So yeah, no, I'm not disabled. Trolls just wanting attention. That's it, cause baby, mm-mm, mm-mm. If you put an acronym and I don't know what it is, then you already know that it don't apply. NA, okay? Non-applicable. But yeah, the situation was wild. It was wild. It was wild. It was interesting and it was wild. Uh, while I was at MDCLA, I was selling my milk. Dead ass. I was selling my milk. So there now at SeaTac in Washington, they give you milk in abundance. So I couldn't sell it there. But it was one chick um at MDCLA. She liked to have her milk. And so there you only get one milk in the morning. And if they have extras, you might be able to get extra, but you really don't give them no extra. So I would sell her my milk, and then I had a bunkie who she didn't drink her milk either. So I would get her milk. So I would give her two milks, and for her two milks, for my two milks, she would buy me, okay, on commissary, 2 packs of Maria's cookies. Yeah. So I was selling her my milk for 2 packs of Maria's cookies every week. Ain't that crazy? The shit I'm getting for free. But she wanted her milk, and she wanted to make a deal. I said, once one of the Chinese girls who, I ended up being cool with, once she said to me, Shalonda, nothing is free in jail. Say less. Say less. Say less. Nothing is free in jail. Okay. You ain't got to tell me twice. You ain't got to tell me twice. If somebody wanted to use my vent or my toilet, that's a pack or two of ramen noodles. Like nothing's free. Nothing is free. You hear me? Nothing. Nothing is free. You exchanging. Everything is a transaction. Everything is a transaction. And then you got some runners in there, like the chick who I told y'all on her third time there, she OD'd on fentanyl. She, I would have her doing some running for me. Like if I wanted to trade, because I was the barber. So my commissary ended up stocking up quick. So I had a lot. And then, you know, going in, they knew that I'm a meat eater. So in regular, I'm a carnivore. So I had a lot of beef sticks. I'm not talking about these little Slim Jim beef sticks, but they sell like the beef sausage. I had a lot of that, a lot of smoked baby clams, a lot of the turkey sticks. I had a lot of meat, okay? And that I would even buy on commissary. But if I wanted some shebangs, okay, they had these spicy shebangs, then I would ask I would ask kitchen, who got some shebangs. I got this. I'm willing to trade for some shebangs. And she'll go run around and see who got what. A lot of people put her to running. So, you know, that's just what it was. Everything was a transaction. Everything was a transaction. And then some people who have been there for a while, like the chick I was in there with, the ketamine queen, one of the six people who is accused in the Matthew Perry murder. And she's the one that they I guess she was known as the ketamine queen. So she's the one where his doctor, they say, allegedly got the ketamine from. But anyway, I was in there with her. And so she had been there for I don't know how long. She's still in pretrial. So she had a ton of shit, a ton of stuff that they didn't even carry anymore on commissary. She didn't have a store. She just had a lot of stuff. Now it was two other people who had a store. One of the chicks who had a store, she had been there for 2 years, and her everything she sold was two times the value, right? So she had like a lot of the perfumes that they didn't carry anymore, and then another chick, she had a store too, but I think her stuff was a lot more reasonable. But anyway, the ketamine queen, Jasmine, she, if I wanted something, I can go check her out and see, if it was something we could trade. But everything was a transaction. Absolutely everything. People was buying telephone minutes, because they run through the minutes so fast, and people buy telephone minutes. People buy everything. Everything. The Colombian chick I was telling you about, she did alterations. She would do alterations even of the green free uniforms that they give you. People were paying cash money to have them altered. That's crazy to me. Crazy. And once you alter it, it's contraband. What they would buy on commissary, their gray sweatsuits, the white t-shirt, it was an older Vietnamese one. No, no, no. She was Korean. An older Korean woman who would color it. She was dope as hell. She was dope as hell. I'm telling you, everybody had a hustle in there. So she would color their grays and their white t-shirts, the sports bra and the socks and the underwear. She would color. People were paying her cash money for that. But then if you fucked around and had it out, because you wash your own clothes, they have laundry, but I learned, like somebody told me, you gonna learn. You send your shit to the wash, it come back dirty and funky, worse than even when you sent it. You come, like when I got there, they gave me, it was all brand new. My sports bras was brand new, panties was brand new, socks was nice and minty green. I sent them to the laundry. That shit came back dingy, grayish, and fucking beige. I mean, it was horrible. So I started washing my own clothes, making my own little laundry detergent, shit smelling so good. And then we would just hang it up, after a certain hour, we would just hang it up or hang it in our cell. And, you know, but you couldn't have lines, right? So you're doing all this shit, trying to do it after hours and all like that. So anyway, if they're grays and whites that they bought on commissary from the feds, mind you, all this shit belonged to the feds. If a CO came in and saw it, they would just take your shit. They would just take it and get rid of it because it's contraband. I'm like, look, y'all, it's all the feds aren't losing anything because you're gonna buy it again. Like, why are you altering federal property anyway? Why are you doing that anyway? So that just doesn't make sense. But they did swoop it right on up, put it in the bag, throw it right in the trash. They get to tossing folks' cells. It was all kind of shit, man. I'm telling you. I don't know why anybody who's never been in jail before ever in their life, I don't know how you would expect anything. You don't have any expectations. You going in there, for me, someone like me, I just say, I just want to go in here and mind my business. I'm in here on some petty shit for saying some dumb shit. Not even dumb shit. Like that was my real emotion. It was some real shit going on. So, but now I'm in here with actual real criminals. That's irrelevant. I'm not gonna answer that question. So you answer it. So you could put more question marks. You answer it, and I don't even. That's so irrelevant to anything I'm talking about. No, to you it matters. So you answer it. Whatever, whatever, whatever you think, whatever you think. It to me it's irrelevant. It matters to you. So just come up with your own narrative. And I just answered you. I'm not going to answer that question. To me, it's irrelevant. So you come up with your own narrative. It's okay with me. Whatever you think is okay with me. I don't care. Whatever you think is okay with me. Whether you think I voted independent, because that is an option for all you motherfuckers who only think it's this and that. Whether you think I voted Democratic, whether you think I voted Republican, whether you think I didn't vote at all. The answer is yes to all four of them. How about that? So you're welcome. You're welcome. You know? And that's one thing I saw in there too. People don't have focus. The women in there, they don't have any focus. They always I'm talking about you have women in there who are in there on a violation who blame their probation officer. You have women who are in there that have 5, 6, 7 felonies that blame everybody else but their actions. You have women who are in there who can be doing something right now, something over here happened, and they just completely lose focus and then want to you have people who are in a conversation talking about something over here, but then want to, like that, ask a completely off the wall question that is only relevant to them, but not relevant to the conversation at hand, just so they can make another accusatory point that isn't even a point at all. I saw all of that in there. No focus, no direction, no accountability, all of that. I saw it all in there. I saw it all in there, and it's just crazy. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. And they will absolutely just completely rationalize the most irrational concepts in their mind. You know, completely irrationalize things that have no rationale. So, it helped me to learn how to let people draw their own conclusions. Just like I had people in the first video I posted, how I got a felony at 50. I got people blatantly lying. And that was real defamation because they stated it as fact. To say that they went online and looked up and saw that I was charged for PPL loan fraud, that's defamation, right? But you have people that will completely come up with their own whatever it is, whatever the case may be. And I don't know why, especially the fact that I was in there with somebody and it was a black woman and her husband that was in there for PPP loan fraud. I'm talking about millions of dollars, so she say, right? If that's what I was charged with, why would I lie about it? I'm too passionate about me speaking out since my teen years about injustice. I'm too passionate about the fact that I was at the Santa Monica protest after George Floyd was murdered. I'm too passionate about all the injustice I experienced living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to lie about my actual case. I'm too passionate about that. I have no reason to lie about why I was in federal custody. And if I was in federal custody for PPP loan fraud, why would I feel like I would need to lie about that? You know what I mean? Because if that is what I was locked up for, then they probably would have come up with some other bullshit defamatory lie to say, no, you was in there for sex trafficking. I looked it up online. This is your name, right? No, you was in there for sex trafficking. So, one thing being in federal custody, seeing how delusional people are, it helped me to realize just allow people to come up with their own narratives. It don't fucking matter. It don't matter. Because at the end of the day, the people that are coming up with their own narratives, they're not the people who can make or break me at all. They're not the people who are uplifting me at all. They're not the people who support anything real. So, like, let me give these people space to let their imagination run wild, because this is what they have time to do. You know what I mean? But to actually create something and put something out into the world that could possibly help people or create jobs for people or anything, help the elderly, they don't have the imagination for that. But to be online and, you know, finger warriors, give them space to do that. So being in custody helped me learn to do that because I grew up as a brawler. I grew up as, I'm going to hit you in your mouth before you get that next word of fuck shit out. So to be in there at 50 and to be so far removed from the younger version of me, it tested all of that. That wild environment tested every aspect of my discipline and maturity. So I learned to just, let people hang themselves with as much rope as they want to. I learned that my presence is enough to have people jumping off fucking buildings. So I let them do that. I let them do that for sure. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. So I will definitely figure out going forward my content strategy for my YouTube videos. And again, I absolutely love my podcast. So that's going to continue. My new podcast microphone arrives tomorrow. Woo, woo, woo. I'm excited about that. So, yeah, episode 5 should be really good. I'm hashing out concepts right now. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for tuning in with me. And thank you again for all the birthday wishes and well wishes. I really appreciate that, y'all. I'm here for another year. 51 is about to be great as I live this road to 52. And it feels good. It looks good. Today is also day 3 of my fitness journey, getting myself back in tip top shape. So, um, maybe today when I head to the gym, I'll record some of my workout sessions. So, anyway, that's it. Happy Friday, Junior. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.